Sadiq says first, before you discuss his students, was that he practiced what he preached. Now let's look at those students in Islamic history who studied under him. The most famous student of Imam Sadiq, and the first of them, was the famous student by the name of An-Nu'man ibn Thabit, most famously called Abu Hanifa. 31% of the Muslim world follow Abu Hanifa in fiqh. If you go to India or Pakistan and you ask them, who is your teacher in fiqh? They say, our teacher, our master is Abu Hanifa. Ask them, do you know who Abu Hanifa's teacher is? Many of them will say, we do not know. Tell them it's Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq. Abu Hanifa used to say, لولا السنتان لهلك النعمان. If it wasn't for my 2 years with Ja'far al-Sadiq, I would have been finished. 2 years. Abu Hanifa studied under Imam Sadiq. Do you know how many books have been written about Abu Hanifa, and do you know many of them don't mention Imam Sadiq? 2 years. 31% of the world follows Abu Hanifa in fiqh. And I tell you, the majority of them don't know Imam Sadiq was his teacher. And that's because of us. That's our fault. We have not discussed Imam Sadiq because we were too lazy to read about him. We discussed Imam Ali and Imam al-Hussein every single lecture, and we forgot Ja'far al-Sadiq. Abu Hanifa didn't just study law under Imam Sadiq. No, he even studied political science under Imam Sadiq. Do you know why? Abu Hanifa, because of Imam Sadiq's teachings, gave 10,000 dinar to Zayd, the uncle of Imam Sadiq, when Zayd spoke out against Bani Umayyah. Abu Hanifa, when al-Mansur was Khalifa, would not lead Salah for al-Mansur because of Abu Hanifa's respect for Imam Sadiq. And they put Abu Hanifa in prison because of his love for Imam Sadiq. If you go to many Hanafis today, that is what they are called, Hanafis. You say to them, do you know who taught Imam Sadiq? Ask your friends who are Hanafis. Say to them, do you know who taught your master? Many of them will not know it's Imam Sadiq. Number two, 25% of the Muslim world follows the second student of Imam Sadiq, Malik ibn Anas. If you go to Morocco, go to Algeria, go to Tunisia, and ask them, which man do you follow in fiqh? They say, we follow Malik ibn Anas. Ask them, do you know who Malik's teacher was? Many of them do not know that Malik's teacher was Imam Sadiq. Malik ibn Anas used to say, no eye has seen and no ear has heard a man with knowledge like Ja'far al-Sadiq. Malik ibn Anas used to say, it's as if I see Imam al-Sadiq in front of me now. He was always in one of three states. Either he was fasting, or he was in salah, or he was teaching and reading the Quran. And he says, I swear by Allah that Ja'far ibn Muhammad never discussed religion except that he was in a state of tahara. Imam Sadiq would never give a lecture unless he's done wudu before the lecture. Because he would say, how can I give a lecture about Rasulullah while I have not done the wudu of Rasulullah? Imam Malik is the man who our Maliki brothers pray like the Imamis. They pray with their hands by their side. Malik was from the people of Medina. Today in Morocco, in Algeria, in Tunisia, they follow the fiqh of Malik. Go to them and say, do you know who Malik's teacher was? Many of them say, we don't know. The reply is, Malik's teacher was Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. Number three, and I was so proud of Al-Atra channel and IBN that in this holy month of Ramadan, they made a documentary about Imam Sadiq's third student, Jabir bin Hiyan, the master of chemistry. Go and type today on Google or Wikipedia, Jabir. It's written, the man who translated Pythagoras and Plato and Aristotle and Socrates in the Islamic world, the man who wrote on crystallization and distillation and evaporation in the Islamic world, the man who wrote 112 volumes on chemistry in the Islamic world, the man who 400 of his treatises are in the Sorbonne in Paris. This man, Jabir bin Hiyan, taught the whole world chemistry. When you read his biography, it's written, Jabir bin Hiyan, the master of chemistry. Ask the world, do you know who was the teacher of Jabir? When Jabir bin Hiyan would talk about chemistry, he would say that my master Jaferis taught me about calcium, and he taught me about evaporation and distillation and crystallization, and everything within chemistry I learned from my master Jaferis. Do you know, in Paris, when they teach about Jabir bin Hiyan, there is not one mention about Jaferis, and that's because of us. We haven't made that effort to sponsor people to write about the master of Jabir.